Hello, you guys. Here's my review for Vikings Season 1, Episode 5, entitled Raid. So, a lot of things happened this episode. Both Ragnar and Rollo seem to be down for the count. Pretty much, this episode begins with everyone in Ragnar's village and his household just doing the usual type of things. And Ragnar's out hunting a deer. And all of a sudden, you have King Harold and his men over in Connecticut preparing for something. You say, okay, what the hell are they preparing for? So you realize after Bjorn's trying to carry something from the boat to his house, that a few arrows come out. Like two of them strike this old man straight in the chest. Bjorn, he ran back. He ran towards the guy. I mean, to see. And if that was me, I would have ran straight home. I'd be like, I ain't, if that dude got, I'm about to just go straight home. I'm about to get got, same position, place he's at. So he looks, he's seeing King Harold and his midget bitch second in command on their horses, and a plethora of other guys, in which the Earl gives a command and they just go straight, attacking, aka raiding, Ragnar's little, community settlement, whatever, village. So they're just cleaning the house. They're killing everything in sight, maiming man, woman, child, all that shit. You can hear Ragnar can hear it. So Ragnar sees. Ragnar gets to the point where he's basically over there, and he goes on a rampage. He starts killing like war after warrior, but he doesn't come out unscathed. He gets his leg cut pretty badly. I think he gets a kind of slash on the shoulder as well too. Little slash, nothing major, and he takes out at least 10 or 12 guys, including one dude he just speared off his horse and just axed the shit out of him. Quickly finish him off. So during this melee, Lagtha also starts to hear all the screaming and commotion. And she gives both Athelstan and Gita a weapon. She tells Athelstan to go get Bjorn. He gets Bjorn, they come in the house, and Bjorn's like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? There's too many of them. And Lagtha said, we're gonna stay and fight. You know what I mean? We're going to defend ourselves pretty much. Your father will be back soon. So eventually, Ragnar, gets back, to his house and to his family. But he's struck by the midget bitch defender, second command, with an arrow that goes straight through his left shoulder, literally. But he's still able to, make it to the house. So there's a trap door or something pretty much that allows Athelstan, like the Bjorn and Gita, to get away. And Ragnar tells him, he'll meet up with them at some point. And to go get the boat, escape and shit. So he comes out. He tells the Earl, they make it seem like he's surrendering to the Earl. And keep in mind, before, I remember I mentioned the raid. When the Earl gave the command, the Earl said, let this be the day in which Ragnar realizes that he is human after all. So pretty much, with this speech, he's telling Ragnar, do you admit that you are a criminal and therefore you deserve to be defeated and also therefore deserve to die? And Ragnar is kind of, playing along with it, saying, can I at least have a few moments in which I can speak to my God? And then he talks to Odin. Then I believe he's able to just take out a few guys and just ride horse. And he's riding up the horse up that damn mountain steep, that long, mountain. And he's able, I believe at one point he gets off the horse, lets the horse go on, and he's hiding underneath, while the other guys on horseback, Harrelson's men, are pursuing the horse. At this point, Ragnar is bleeding he's bleeding heavily, and he really needs to get some help at some point, because the dude's about to bleed out and die and shit. So he's able to get to the top of the mountain, and Lagtha, Athelstan, Bjorn, and Gita, thankfully, are right underneath where he's at. And he sees Harrelson's men with their swords. And Ragnar says something to himself, related to the gods, and he jumps from the cliff and straight to the water. And you got Bjorn saying, oh my God, where is he? Where is he? Where is he? And then Athelstan, tells Lagtha, I got him. I'm going to go get him. So he gets Ragnar from the water. He swims, gets him. Then you got Bjorn asking, is he dead? Is he dead? Is he dead? And then next scene, the Earl, is he dead? And the guy said, we don't know. And the Earl's like, I won't forget this. I won't forget that you didn't kill him when I wanted you guys to kill him and all that shit. So pretty much Bjorn and like the Alison and Gita, they go to Floki, and Floki helps with nursing Ragnar back to health, feeding him soups, doing all his little mystic crap, you know. And we find out that Torsten, one of the guys, one of Ragnar's friends, and also one of his companions from the little raids that they did over in Northumbria, he finds them. He tells them that Harold's keeping a close eye on all their friends and shit, and that Rollo's the one that told him that he would be at Floki's most likely. And yeah, I think Torsten sees Floki's wife, and he says, "Hey," Floki said, "Hey, that's mine." And then later on, Torsten has to speak with Ragnar wondering why the gods allow all this stuff to happen to him and all that stuff. Floki tells Torsten that he should leave, but before he goes, I think him and Torsten have a threesome with Helga. Another thing that happened in this episode, I believe that Harrelson's daughter gets married to this old, ugly man who's a cousin of King Hork. And Siggy was pissed off about this, saying, "Do you not care for her happiness, all this shit?" And she talks about how he's been such a horrible husband for so long since the boys died. And she's saying how he doesn't understand how she feels. Since she birthed them, she wants them to grow. Now they're not here anymore. And then he tells her about how when their boys were killed, how before they were buried, they cut off their heads and stuck their faces to each other's asses. And he was saying, and just hearing that, I was like, damn, that's a fuck. It's like, you already killed the boys. Now you're going to just disrespect them in death, you know, shit like that. You got the Earl saying pretty much, you know, if I ever find who did this, they have no idea what I'm going to do to them and shit, you know. So we understand why, in a way, he became, you know, even though, like, why he became so, in a way, brutal. Because it seems like we understand that even throughout the first few episodes, you can see that he's a pretty just guy. Just the fact that the way his sons were killed off, you can understand why he became way more darker and, you know, combative. So later, we have Rollo coming to Earl Haraldson's daughter's wedding, and he was saying, Earl Haraldson saying, "Well, if you did what you were supposed to do and told the truth, then that would have been you." And Rollo said, "I did tell the truth, you know, and I just wasn't fated to marry your daughter." He also wanted to say that, listen, you control the ships, you control the harp, all that shit. I want to raid and to fight. That is what I'm good for. That is what my purpose is. And Haraldson said, "You know what? It takes a long time for me to trust people, especially someone like you who betrayed me. Sorry. So, you know, but you can stay at my expense and all that shit. And hopefully I'll forgive you by the time the next raid comes." Which turns out to be total bullshit, because even Siggy warns Rollo that he should leave and that her husband hates him and that, you know, he wants him, and he really wants Ragnar, but he will use him as a way to get Ragnar if he doesn't leave. Rollo gets beat up by like 20 dudes, clubbed and shit, and he's tortured, you know, by the Earl. I believe the Earl does something. You don't know what he's doing. My first instinct was, damn, this dude's trying to put like a Joker type thing, like just raising his mouth open and shit, because you can see the blood oozing from the table. So after that scene, you have Torsten coming back to Floki's. Looked like he got fucked up on the way. That what else happened? That he said that tells him everything about Rollo being tortured and how the Earl's frustrated because Rollo refuses to sell out Ragnar. And Floki's like, "This is the trap, Ragnar." And Ragnar's like, "I don't care. Tell the Earl that I challenge him to one-on-one combat, and if he doesn't accept, there'll be shame upon him, and the gods will never welcome him to Valhalla." So yeah, that's pretty much all that happened in this episode of Season 1, Episode 5, entitled Raid. A lot of shit happened in this episode. It was such a good and intense episode. You didn't know exactly what was going to happen in this episode. Now, just thinking about it, just kind of coming back to me, there was one thing that I missed that was important that happened in the very beginning of this episode, but I'll elaborate more on it when I do the next episode review. But yeah, thanks for watching. Like the video, comment below, and adios.